What's up, SnEaKyNation? SnEaKyP here, back with all the news after week number 3 in our San Francisco 49ers franchise, where the Niners fell to 0-3 on the season. Next up, we have the 2-1 Dallas Cowboys, but before we get into that matchup, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights from week number 3, and there were not many for the 49ers, starting off their first drive with a fumble that was returned for a touchdown. Later on, the score is 7-3, and Thomas Rawls had a field day on this 49ers defense. This one was from 50 yards out, putting his team up 14-3. Now Selleck going to have awareness there to get the 49ers into field goal range, and that will do it. Phil Dawson knocking it through the uprights. 14-6. The Niners trying to hang around in Seattle, but things would not be that easy. Later on, Russell Wilson going to fumble the ball. Ronald Blair, the rookie, getting the sack. The Seahawks would recover, and the Niners would end up getting the ball. Almost a safety there. Sheed almost getting Gabbert, barely staying on the 1-yard line. And later on in the drive, as the Niners did keep it alive, that is going to be another sack for Jaron Reed, the rookie out of Alabama. 3rd and 19, and Quentin Patton has it, trying to get the Niners back into it. However, he is going to get taken down from behind here, and this would be key as the Niners unable to capitalize as Gabbert's hit as he threw the ball, and Hamilton comes down with it. And really, we need to rely on Quentin Patton more in that situation. He should be able to get the touchdown there, but it's not going to happen. Procise, the rookie, down the field, beating Tremaine Brock on the play. And then another field goal a little bit later on, right before half, 24-6. This was a blowout early on in the third. The Niners again getting another field goal, trying to hang around, but Thomas Rawls had other plans. A monster day for Rawls, over 200 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. Here he is, adding on another one to make the score 38-9. This just got out of hand quickly. However, Chris Owusu still wanted to make a big play today, and he would do so here. A 72-yard touchdown play. Unfortunately, that was about the only highlight from the 49ers offense, as Thomas Rawls yet again another monster run down the right side here, finally taken down by Ward. However, it would lead to his 4th touchdown of the day, giving them 48 points. And they just ate up this 49ers defense. With time running out, Bobby Wagner gets the interception, and that would seal the deal. 48-16 is going to be the score, and the Niners have another tough matchup against the Dallas Cowboys, and partly because the Dallas Cowboys have one of the best offensive lines in the entire NFL, probably the best run-blocking offensive line, and our young running back in Ezekiel Elliott. If the Seahawks tore apart the Niners defense with Thomas Rawls and their offensive line, I think we have our work cut out for us against the Dallas Cowboys. Let's go ahead and get into some media questions really quick. First question is going to come from Turn Down for Matt. What position on defense is a priority? Well, we have a lot of young players that we really like. However, clearly our run defense is leaving a lot to be desired. Now, currently we are in a spot that we have 2 young guys on the defensive line in Armstead and Buckner. We expect a lot out of them. Part of it could just be that they're young and you know, they might grow into the defenders that we need them to be. But right now, we definitely got to find some players to help us stop the run a bit more. J2 Cobb 420 asks, how well would Gabbert have to play for you to not draft a quarterback? You know, Gabbert's our guy right now. We certainly like how he's been playing. You know, outside of a few turnovers, he has actually been pretty solid for us so far. We'll have to see how the rest of the season goes before we address that, and whether or not we like a quarterback enough to take him there or not. But we are still looking around. And Tyler Olivio asks, what do you think about trading Kaepernick? Well, you know, right now he's our backup quarterback, so I think if any teams had any interest in him, they would assume that he was available. We certainly have a lot of faith in him as a backup quarterback, but if a team calls, you know, we'll have to see what that offer looks like for our team. But as of right now, he's our guy. We like to have him here, and we're going to proceed forward with him. That will be it for all the questions. Let's go ahead and check out all of the scores from around the NFL in week number 3. In a matchup between the Texans and the Patriots, the Texans going to get the upset to improve to 2-1 while the Pats fall to 2-1. And Brock Osweiler, great game for his new team there. 349 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Outdueling Tom Brady on the day. Certainly not something you would expect to see. Edelman did have a good game with 100 yards and a few different touchdowns. Jalen Strong getting involved there as well. Defensively, Joseph leading the way with 10 tackles. Sacks, Copels, Watt, Branch, and Sheard getting them on the day. Interceptions, and there was one that went to Brian Cushing. The Buffalo Bills 31-14 over Arizona. The Bills improved to 3-0 on the early season here. The Cardinals fall to 1-2. Definitely not living up to the hype so far for them. LaShawn McCoy, 139 yards, 5.3 yards to carry, and a touchdown for him. David Johnson was a factor both on the ground and through the air, having a very good game for the Cardinals there. Defensively, Buchanan leading the way, 15 tackles on the day, and plenty of sacks to go around, including 2 for Chandler Jones, who has been killing it for the Cardinals early on in his tenure there. Interceptions, none on the day. The Raiders going to win 27-20 over the Tennessee Titans. The Raiders improved to 2-1. Titans fall to 0-3, and not having Marcus Mariota really kind of haunting them to this point in the season. They definitely need him back. Matt Castle, a little bit up there in age now, and obviously not getting it done for this Tennessee Titans offense. As you see, not a whole lot of passing yards there. Dodd, though, the rookie out of Clemson, 11 tackles and a sack, but Khalil Mack, the sack attack, getting 3 sacks on the game for the Raiders defense. Henney and Smith each getting a interception as well. The Giants winning 22-14 over the Redskins. The Giants improving to 2-1. The Redskins falling to 0-3 on the season. Sims, another solid game from him, but not finding his way into the end zone. Dotson, the rookie, getting 8 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown for the Skins, though. Shepard, 11 tackles, sacks. We have plenty this game as well. Oliver Vernon leading the way with 2 on the day. Plenty of other people getting involved, though. Interceptions, Collins and Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie going to make it happen. The Browns 40-35 over the Miami Dolphins. The Browns improving to 3-0 on the season. Josh McCown getting it done right now. The Dolphins falling to 1-2. And who projected the Browns to be at this point, and the rest of the teams in the AFC North have not been playing that well. So right now the Browns are actually leading that division and, continue to show up so far this season. Definitely putting a lot of doubters' minds. And I don't know, that they're just shocking some people right now. Ndamukong Suh going to lead the way with 3 tackles, or 3 sacks, I'm sorry. Interceptions, Joe Hayden making it happen there. The Jags going to win 20-3 over the Ravens, and Joe Flacco has really been struggling so far this season. The Jags going to improve to 2-1 while the Ravens fall to 0-3. They had higher expectations than starting off with an 0-3 record, and again, a lot of it has been Joe Flacco. Looking at his stats throughout the season, he just has not really had a great game yet. Defensively, they did okay, but obviously the Jags still making it happen there. Smith going to have an interception. The Lions winning 31-28 over the Green Bay Packers. The Lions improving to 3-0 on the season. The Packers falling to 2-1. Certainly not a loss the Packers anticipated, but the Lions going to get the heads up in the division there early on. Randall Cobb, 9 catches, 69 yards for him. Nelson had a touchdown there. Devontae Adams had 2 touchdowns overall, though it just was not enough. The Lions making it happen. Randall, 13 tackles on the day. Sacks, we have 2.5 for Mike Daniels, 2 for Kenny Clark, the rookie out of UCLA, making some plays. A lot of other guys getting involved as well. Interceptions, Clinton Dix, Levy, and Slay going to make it happen. 30-28, the Bengals going to beat the Denver Broncos. The Bengals improving to 2-1 on the season, while the Broncos falling to 1-2. Not a bad game from Paxton Lynch, though. One of the better games we've actually seen from him so far this season. It just didn't lead to a win this time. But definitely did a good job through the air. It was really the Broncos defense letting them down. Not something you anticipate happening a whole lot, but just didn't get it done today. Defensively, DeMarcus Ware did have 12 tackles for him, though. Sacks, 2 for Dunlap, 2 for Randy Starks. Tarpinen, is going to have one as well. Interceptions, none on the day. The Vikings going to win 21-6 over the Carolina Panthers. The Vikings improving to 2-1. The Panthers, not a good start to their season, falling to 1-2 on the year. Certainly not where they wanted to be either. Adrian Peterson, a good game, 86 yards, 4.5 yards a carry, and a touchdown. Sam Bradford going to run for a touchdown too. Kelvin Benjamin, 7 catches that went for 78 yards. Charles Johnson with a touchdown for the Vikings there defensively. And it's Thomas Davis Sr. leading the way in tackles. So their only win is actually over us. Sharif Floyd getting 3 sacks on the day there. And then Daniel Hunter, the young player for the Vikings, making it happen as well. No interceptions on the day. That'll take us to the Bucs and the Rams. The Bucs winning 28-27. And Jared Goff, though, continues to play well. Has yet to throw an interception this season. The Rams fall to 2-1 while the Bucs improved to 2-1 on the day. Hillman getting 2 touchdowns to go with Doug Martin, who had over 100 yards rushing. Todd Gurley did find his way into the end zone as well on a bit over 80 yards. Riley Cooper had another touchdown for the Rams. He has been a great pickup for them. Defensively, it is McDonald leading the way in tackles with 11. Jarrett with 10 sacks. We have 1 for Aaron Donald, McDougald, and Ayers Jr., and then interceptions on the day, none. It's not happening. So the Chiefs going to win 31-17 over the Jets. The Chiefs improved to 1-2 to get their first win on the season. The Jets fall to 1-2. And Geno Smith getting some time today. Jamal Charles, though, a monster game, 133 yards, 6.7 yards a carry, and a touchdown for him. Powell, though, going to get 2 touchdowns on the ground for the Jets. Not a whole lot happening through the air, but Macklin did get a touchdown for the Chiefs there defensively. Calvin Pryor going to lead the way with 10 tackles, sacks, 2 for Richardson, 1 for Houston Bailey, and Tamba Ali. Interceptions on the day. And none in this game either. The Chargers going to win 31-28 over the Colts. The Chargers improved to 2-1. The Colts fall to 1-2. Scott Tolzien, though, has been doing a pretty good job filling in for Andrew Luck. Just unfortunate to not get enough going through the air to get the win today. But, he's doing a good job protecting the ball, not really turning it over a whole lot. Travis Benjamin, the new pickup for the Chargers, going to have 2 touchdowns there. Melvin Gordon going to have a touchdown as well as Bray there. Trent Cole going to lead the way in tackles in this one. 2 sacks for Mabane there. And Joey Bosa getting 1.5 sacks. He has been good early on in his career. No interceptions here either. And the Battle of Pennsylvania, the Eagles winning 35-14 over the Steelers. The Eagles improved to 1-2, and the Steelers fall to 1-2. Certainly not a loss the Steelers expected here, but Wendell Smallwood, the rookie, going to have a touchdown. Le'Veon Bell with a touchdown. Only 11 carries on the day for Le'Veon Bell. He's had such good success to start the season. I don't know why they would run with him. They wouldn't run with him more. Antonio Brown continues his hot start to the season. 99 yards and a touchdown for him. And then Brandon Graham going to have 2 sacks. Connor Barwin adds a sack and a half as the Eagles defense really got to Roethlisberger on the day. Keenan Lewis and Jenkins each getting an interception. The Cowboys going to crush the Bears 42-3, which is very worrisome for 49ers fans. And as you can see, Dak Prescott is going to come into the game. Tony Romo went down with an injury. The two combined for 5 touchdowns on the day, but Dak Prescott getting 4 of them and no interceptions. Ezekiel Elliott, a good game for him, 4.3 yards a carry and a touchdown. And if you are a 49ers fan and you were sitting at 0-3 and you were looking at the Cowboys absolutely wrecking the Bears, you definitely have to be worried. The Cowboys improved to 2-1 on the season with this win. The Bears fall to 2-1. But definitely going to have our work cut out for us because Dak Prescott looking good. The Falcons 35-34 over their division rival, the Saints here. The Falcons improved to 1-2 on the season. The Saints get their first loss to fall to 2-1. Not a great game for Matt Ryan. It was enough to get the win, but a lot of the points really came on the ground there for the Falcons. Mohamed Sanu, 7 catches, 63 yards for him. Fleener, again, one of the leading targets there for the Saints. We have seen him involved early and often so far for the Saints in this season. Sacks, Jarrett, Jordan, Reed, and Jackson going to get the sacks there, and then interceptions. I don't know how to say that. I apologize. And Collins. That is going to round out for week 3. Let's go ahead and check out the players of the week. And obviously, Thomas Rawls, 25 carries, 241 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns. Mike Daniels with 2 sacks and 10 tackles. CJ Mosley, 11 tackles, 2 fumbles forced, 2 fumbles recovered. And then Brock Osweiler, 249 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and an upset over the New England Patriots. Let's go ahead and check out some scouting. DeMarco Pema, still projected to go number 1 overall and definitely looking worthy of that pick. The former rugby player, killing it in the college football scene. His teammate Forbes, still projected to go number 2 overall. Might not look as good as Pema there, but still somebody worth keeping an eye on. There are plenty of outside linebackers in this draft. If you are a 3-4 defense looking for an outside linebacker, we have plenty of them to go around. And the 49ers, outside of Lynch, Brooks is getting a little bit up there in age. It might be something we're looking at. Wes Conrad didn't really grade out all that well. Still somebody worth keeping an eye on. Sean Kendall, though, a playmaking strong safety. Definitely a lot of things we like about him. We'll have to evaluate him further as the season goes. Dior Shea, again, another outside linebacker. They are plenty this year. And if you can't strike or if you can't get one of the top guys, Shea might still be available a little bit in the mid-round area, as is Chekwa. A right outside linebacker here. Doesn't look as good as some of the other players on this list, but still a guy worth keeping an eye on. But Denton Ritchie out of Michigan State, the coach's son, is definitely a player that we are interested in. Looking at his stats, this guy looks like he has all the makings of a superstar. Jamon Stovall, a cornerback, 6'1" out of Auburn, pretty good skills, a prototype, which means he's probably going to be super athletic too. We'll have to keep an eye on him. McCoon, not seeing a whole lot that we like out of here, but as before, a prototype guy worth keeping an eye on. A run support free safety, Sean Patton out of Georgia. Great hit power, but we don't know what his zone coverage is, and that worries us. And then Normando Bullard, definitely looking good from what we've seen, but we're going to have to scout the linebacker from USC a little bit further as we look at the stories. Highly touted Florida State, Maurice Drummond sustained a significant injury that could jeopardize his draft stock. We are going to have to find this guy, because it could be really interesting. It might be, one of the first-round talent taken later because of injury concerns. And then, of course, son of legendary high school coach Denton Ritchie, has been around the game his entire life. And that is the guy that we are really looking forward to. So we'll have to keep an eye on him. Looking at the injuries, Tony Romo, complete ACL tear for the Dallas Cowboys, out for the season and longer. And we saw Dak Prescott ended up getting his number called last game, came through big time with 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. But it is going to be interesting to follow that storyline. The rookie out of Mississippi State, once again getting to start. Mark Sanchez is going to be his backup. And this is going to be the key right here for the 49ers. At running back, Ezekiel Elliott, the rookie out of Ohio State, has one of, if not the best offensive line to block for him. Now, we just saw the Seahawks tear the Niners apart with their run game, and it leaves a huge concern in our minds. How are we going to be able to slow down this running offense for the Cowboys? More so, we just saw Prescott throw for 4 touchdowns. Des Bryant's there, Terrence Williams is there. They've got some guys that can make some plays. And the Niners defense is going to have to step up a lot more than what we saw last week. DeMarcus Lawrence at left end. Randy Gregory going to be at right end defensive tackle. They have Crawford and Thornton left outside linebacker. Justin Durant at middle linebacker. Rolando McClain and Jalen Smith, the rookie out of Notre Dame. And then Sean Lee right outside linebacker. Scandrick and Claiborne going to be the main 2 corners here. But with the injury to Brandon Carr, not the best secondary right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, but it should be a very interesting game. The 2-1 Dallas Cowboys taking on the 0-3 San Francisco 49ers. The Niners still searching for that first victory. They have been on the road for 2 weeks. They will be back at home for this one, and the Niners are going to have to find a way to contain Ezekiel Elliott. It should be a good one, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Later.